Welcome Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising to your November 2025 astrology forecast. Hi, I'm Sarah at Life with Training Wheels, where I utilize Western Tropical Zodiac Astrology along with other tools to help empower you to become the highest and best version of yourself, to see the energies and opportunities that are flowing to you, and to help guide you on seeing the opportunities in front of you and taking advantage of them and taking control of your life. If you are new here, thank you so much for finding me, and I hope you stick around. If you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. If you could give me a like and subscribe, that would be super awesome and help my channel grow, as I'm just a little baby channel right now, but anything you can do to help would be very much appreciated. And just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. I do have an astrology course, your first astrology course, going on right now. It has just begun. I've released the first video. It's a 6-week ish course where we go from learning how to just simply pull up your natal chart to looking at how a chart is laid out, and then diving into what the houses mean, what the signs mean, what the planets mean. From there, we'll look at your big three, your rising, sun, and moon. And then finally, we will look at how to take astrology forecasts like this one by sign, or more collective type astrology forecasts, and how to really apply them to your own natal chart, more so than this, than like including where your particular personal planets are and things like that. So it's meant for complete beginners. So if that's something you're interested in, the link is below. I also have a Patreon membership that I am growing, where basically we cover a different topic about the natal chart every month, and you get a 20-minute monthly personal chart reading on that topic, and I post videos regarding teaching about whatever topic it is that we are covering. So I'd love to see you there as well. And other than that, let's just get into it. I highly do encourage you to look to watch the collective reading before you watch this one, mainly because there are a few things that I go over in that collective reading that I'm not going to repeat here, most of which is that Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto all are going to be remaining within 1 degree the entire month long. So for those particular degree points, I look to see what the Sabian symbol meaning for those degree points are, and I really think it gives a bigger and a really nice overview of what we're being asked to look at collectively and individually. So I highly encourage you to look at that. I will link it up here, but otherwise I'll briefly go over, before we pull up your chart, the big things going on this month. Mainly, there is a grand water trine, so we're going to look at where the water signs fall for you, but we're having a grand water trine all month long, and water trines bring us a lot of emotional depth, number one, because it is water. That is where we carry a lot of emotions, and it also provides a lot of healing opportunities for us, a water grand trine, as well as perhaps bringing on and being more aware of our intuition. It also is just overall asking us to go with the flow this month. There's a lot of stuff moving this month, but this grand water trine is supporting us through the entire month, kind of just asking us to trust and to go with the flow of things, and providing a lot of luck and opportunities to those houses where you have your water signs in. And then, but with water, with trines in general, sometimes the energy is flowing so freely and the opportunities are so abundant that we kind of miss them because it's coming so easily. We miss the opportunity to take advantage of something when it's presented to us. So sometimes we need a little bit of friction, need a little bit of challenge in order to take the opportunities that are being presented to us. So the other thing we have going on all month long is a square between Jupiter and Chiron. So that'll be providing a lot of healing opportunities for you. And we also have an opposition all month long between the parade of planets that are going to be moving through Scorpio, keeping this Water Grand Trine alive. They're all going to be square or opposing Uranus, which is starting in Gemini and then retrograding back into Taurus. So this is where you're going to be asked to balance some things and maybe shake some things up that need to be shaken up in order for you to take advantage of the opportunities being presented to you this month. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the chart and we'll start diving into it. So I have your chart up on the screen. So your Water Grand Trine right here is hitting your 11th house, your 7th house, and your 3rd house. So these are it's going to be a very social month for you. All these houses are very social houses. So that is where most of your opportunities for growth, deep transformation, and just where you're going to have the most opportunity and blessings come to you this month. So let's go through really quick just what these houses mean and what things might be coming to you. So let's go ahead and start with the 3rd house. This is the house of communication, like social media, things like that, how we communicate with others, how we take in information, how we, being a house of communication, it's not only how we share our ideas and share our thoughts and share our communication, but as well as how we listen. Do we actively listen when people are communicating with us? What types of information are we taking in and allowing into our world, into our mental world? That plays a big part in our health, what types of information and thoughts we're allowing to come in. And so all month long with this Water Grand Trine, we are going to be working with this Saturn and Neptune energy really heavily and really strongly. So with the 3rd house is also siblings, so maybe there's going to be a lot of interaction with siblings. It's also our neighborhood and our community, as well as short distance travel. So those are themes that you can see movement in or opportunities in all month long. But with Saturn and Neptune in particular in this house in Pisces, this is where we've been working with this energy for a long time, right? And for you, it's Saturn is all about boundaries and restrictions and institutions, but it's also a beautiful planet about where we lay the foundations of things and where we have our own personal boundaries. And Neptune is this planet of idealism, seeing things with rose-colored glasses, being deceiving or being delusional to ourselves or being deceived by others. So especially in the third house, this is where, with Saturn and Neptune wants to, along with Saturn, Neptune wants to dissolve things. So this could be where in your communication, where in your relationships with siblings or things like that do you need to dissolve maybe some boundaries that you have had just based on, patterns that you've grown up with that are no longer serving you? Do you have boundaries that you've put up, walls that you've put up that need to come down, that are up there for, they once served a purpose, but maybe they no longer are? We're really going to be focused on that this month, but as well the opposite way. Neptune doesn't have a lot of boundaries, neither does Pisces. So where in your third house of communication or siblings or travel or whatever, do you need to instill more boundaries? So those are the things that we're going to be looking at, and that you're going to be getting the opportunity to work through this month. And Saturn has been working with you in this house over the last 2.5 years or so. And, it went into Aries a little bit and then moved back. And it's going to actually be turning direct at the end of this month. So with it being retrograde, it's an opportunity for us to, do this internal work of looking at those boundaries that we either need to have or let go of in regards to our third house themes. And with Pisces being in this house, you may struggle with boundaries or routine or structure in this house of communication overall. So maybe it's looking at how you engage with social media, just your communication style in general, how you take in information, those types of things we've really been working with. And this is kind of your last chance to work with and kind of put into build a solid foundation of ways that you've discovered that you need to change your habits in this area. You'll be provided a lot of opportunity for that this month. And then the other house, the 7th house, is your house of relationships. Those, whether that's romantic relationships like best friendships, business partnerships, as well as open enemies. So those close relationships that are no longer close relationships, so like ex-partners and things like that. But so this house will be highlighted all month long with this Water Grand Trine. So you could be feeling very very extra, like wanting to give your partner a lot of extra attention. You could just be overall very lucky in this house, lucky in your partnerships, lucky in your relationships. This again could be business or personal. Just a lot of opportunity perhaps coming towards you from your relationships. Maybe chances of enhancing your communication, putting better boundaries around your communication, dreaming, removing the rose-colored glasses in regards to relationships, and really being able to bring your dreams about what you want into reality. That could be something coming in, but overall just a lot of opportunity and a lot of growth in your relationship sector. And then the other house is the 11th house, which is our house of friendships, our house of hopes and dreams. It is also the house where we receive the financial gains or losses from the work that we have put in our 10th house of career. So this can be a house of gains and a house of the money that we receive from the work that we're doing. So with this being a very active house for you this month, I expect there to be a lot of energy surrounding your friendship groups, the groups that you belong to, perhaps some money opportunities, especially once Venus gets into Scorpio. Could be, just figuring out the friendships that support you, the friendships that don't, right? You become the 5 people that you hang out with the most. So it could be a month where you're really evaluating the people that are around you. And all the personal planets are going to be going through here. So all month long, activating this Grand Trine, we will have Mars here at first, kind of, giving us the willpower, the drive, the motivation to go after these opportunities or build the boundaries or whatever it is that we need to do. The Sun will later also be engaged here, giving us, again, the drive and the focus and maybe some career type focus to our communication. Maybe, when the Sun is here, we'll have some opportunity to launch a marketing program or something like that. We will have a new moon, which I'll talk about here as well, bringing us, a lot of new opportunities in regards to this area. Mercury's also going to be turning retrograde and activating this Grand Trine, so that'll be bringing bringing, of course, the Mercury retrograde type things, like perhaps miscommunication with our friends, maybe we were supposed to travel with them and that's not working out, last minute change in plans, things like that. But also the Mercury is our mind, and how we think about things and how we communicate. So maybe there's some opportunities for growth in communication with our friend groups, with communicating what our hopes and our dreams are. And maybe since it'll be retrograde, really going in and evaluating what our hopes and dreams for the future are. So that'll be an opportunity for you as well. So this Grand Trine is going to be really exciting and bringing you lots of opportunities in your friend groups, in your personal and one-to-one relationships, and in your communication and neighborhood and with siblings and extended family. Like, it's going to be a really beautiful month with lots of social opportunities for you. It might be really busy in that regard. But like I said at the beginning too, when we have a trine, the energy is flowing so freely and so nicely that sometimes we don't necessarily see the opportunities that are coming to us, or we don't act quickly enough to take advantage of the energy that's just flowing so beautifully because it's going so easy, that we need some sort of stimulation to get us to really engage with it. And so luckily the astrology is beautiful and it is providing that for us. So all month long you are having this square between Jupiter, which is a point of this Grand Trine, right? A square between that and Chiron and Aries in your 4th house. So this will be providing you opportunities to do a lot of healing around the wounds that you have with your I am energy as it relates to your home environment or your emotional environment. So where have you had to stay small and keep quiet or not be seen? What are wounds you have around not being seen in your home, with your ancestors? Things like that. Jupiter here in your house of one-to-one relationships is providing a lot of healing opportunities for that. And although squares are generally felt as, a challenge, and they are asking us to make like a choice, make a decision, to act on something. With Jupiter, it's often, it can still be challenging, but you recognize that it's a beneficial challenge. All challenges are really beneficial because they're asking us to go higher. But this in particular should be felt, fairly decently, with Jupiter being the benefic planet. But you'll be, this Chiron energy and focusing on the home could be, very beneficial, or guiding you where to take these blessings that are coming towards you, and applying them to the healing that you need to do in your fourth house, or perhaps the healing that you're doing in your fourth house of home and family and your own internal emotional environment and how you're nurturing yourself. Fourth house is also nurturing, how you're nurturing yourself and how you desire to nurture others and be seen in that. Maybe the healing work that you're doing on your own can then, maybe create some challenge in some relationships, but that bring opportunities to these relationships. So that's really beautiful. The other thing is, all month long, with the parade of planets that are going through these final degrees in Scorpio, they are going to be in opposition to Uranus over here. The first through the 7th, Uranus will be in Gemini. So oppositions really they are asking you to balance the energy. So being asked to balance like your friends and the groups that you belong to, with your, the first few days of the month, with your work and your daily routines and habits and things like that, where you might need to shake some things up in order to capitalize on the opportunities, but also to make sure that you aren't forgetting about your health, forgetting about your work with all this social activity going on. And then when Uranus retrogrades back into Taurus, this balance will be asking you to consider, make sure that you aren't. Fifth house is our joy, our creativity, our romance, our children, our inner child. So it'll be making sure that you're not sacrificing yourself, basically, and your own joy for all these relationships around you, right? So making sure that you're bringing yourself wholly and fully and completely to the table, and capitalizing on the opportunities that way. So that is the main energy. The other things that are going on is Mercury or Mars is going to be moving into Sagittarius. So that'll be providing some willpower, some desire to go into the 12th house themes of rest and relaxation where you need it, diving into any subconscious patterns that you have, those types of things. Mars will give you the motivation and the willpower and the drive to do that. Then we also have on the 5th, we will have a full moon in Taurus. So focusing on this balance between you and your joy and creativity and inner child and romance, your house of fun, and how you bring fun to the rest of the world, how you bring your fun and your full self to the world to make a contribution as your full self. And to just look at what opportunities, what things are coming to fruition in this house. Then we've got on the 9th, or the 7th, Uranus is going to be, like I said, retrograding back into Taurus, where it will be for a while. So where it will be, I believe, until next April. So this is giving us a chance. Uranus entered into this fifth house to shake it up back in 2018, I believe. So we are getting, another chance to tidy things up, shake things up that we have discovered upon its entry into Gemini that we still need to address. So we are going to be given the opportunity to look at that as well. Let's see, on the 9th is when Mercury is going to turn retrograde in Sagittarius. While it's in Sagittarius, it'll be giving us the opportunity again to dive into our subconscious and look at, how having our conscious mind dive into our subconscious and kind of connecting those two together, seeing what types of self-sabotaging behaviors or anything like that we need to deal with. And then it'll be moving retrograde into Scorpio to engage with this grand water trine on the 18th. And then it won't be turning direct until the 29th. So we will be having lots of opportunities, like I said, to kind of really dive into how we are communicating and interacting with our friend groups and just the communication that we're having. It could be Mercury does represent commerce and things like that, so that could be opportunities or old friends coming back, right? Things like that could be what is coming with that, the piece of that retrograde. Then on the 11th, we have Jupiter turning retrograde in your 7th house, which it'll be retrograde through in this house through the rest of the month. So when it turns retrograde, sometimes Jupiter, it represents the opportunities that are being presented to us. So when it turns retrograde, sometimes that can be opportunities that maybe we have missed coming back around, or, shadows or various versions of opportunities that we've missed. Or since this is 7th house, perhaps it's business partnerships that are coming back around, opportunities for that, or, old relationships coming back around, or just when planets turn retrograde, it is a more introspective type thing. So with Jupiter wanting to expand, just kind of taking our energy inward and maybe realizing how lucky we are in this area of our lives, or something along those lines. But you'll be given an opportunity to be given a refresh, I guess, of opportunities in this house. Let's see, then we have on the 19th a new moon in Scorpio. So lots of new beginnings in your 11th house potentially coming to you, especially with it being engaged in this grand water trine. And then on the 27th, Saturn will be turning direct. And I think it's really beautiful how Saturn is the first planet of all these outer planets to turn direct, because it is where it's like the foundation of a house, right? And this is in your 3rd house of communication. So you're really building a foundation of how you want to bring your ideas to the world, how you want to engage in listening and taking in ideas of other people. In business, maybe the types of things, and setting the foundation for the types of things that you want to launch in your business, marketing that you want to do. You're really going to be, when Saturn turns direct, laying the foundation for that. And then all this work that we've been doing here, of letting things go and really cleaning up, and having the opportunity to dream what we want to see in the future, dream it up. Saturn is giving us the opportunity to lay the foundation, so then we can really, bring it into, in your particular case, in your fourth house of, really feeling emotionally secure. Fourth house is very much our emotions and how we nurture ourselves and nurture others. It's our home. So how can we develop these? How can we start building the foundation in our communication in our neighborhood and with our siblings and extended family and things like that, in order to make our home the best that we can make it, and bring our dreams of that into reality. We're starting with that at the end of this month when Saturn turns direct. So that is really, really beautiful. So that is really most of what's going on for you this month, Capricorn. And comment below with how you're feeling this energy. Come back to it throughout the month and comment with how things are manifesting for you. I'd love to hear that. And like I said, also, click the like and subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. I really appreciate it if you do. And I hope you have a really great November, and I will see you back here. Also, just in case you didn't know, I do post usually daily shorts of the astrology going on each day. Sometimes if it's a bigger astrological day, the video will not be a short and it'll just be a shorter long form video, I guess. But so if that's something you're interested in, definitely hit subscribe so you are aware of when those are posted and coming through. Otherwise, have a great month, and I hope to see you back here next month.